Hi, you guys. Thanks so much for being here tonight. My name is Fatima Williams Castro. Thank you so much for joining. It is now the top of the hour at 8 o'clock, and that is when we are set to start. So I just want to make sure that everyone is here, that we're in. I'll type and say hello in the chat. Let me just see if you are here. Awesome. It looks like more people are coming in as I speak. So I'm going to give just a couple more seconds. Hi, Megan. Yeah, let us know as we wait for just a couple more people to get in. There's about 56, 58 people registered. So tell us where you're from. I'd love to hear where you guys are from in the chat. I see Andrea or Andrea. Hi. Let us know where you're coming in from tonight, and we will get started in just a couple minutes. I see Katie. Oh, wow. Katie from Kentucky. Alexandria. Yay, the DMV. Hi, Janet. Thanks for joining from LA. Awesome. I hope the weather is much better there than what it is here. Hi, Shaya. Thank you so much for coming. Indianapolis. Yay. Awesome. Hi, Julie. This is so cool. We've got about 56 people registered. I'm not going to wait until everyone gets here to start because I respect that you all are here on time. I just wanted to check in, do a little roll call, and say hello, and give just another minute for other people to get in. Also, while we're doing this, I want to introduce you all to Katie. You won't see her on screen, but you'll see her in the chat because once I start, I won't be able to keep, kind of a close eye on the chat. So Katie is my colleague and assistant. She's amazing. And she will be answering any questions if there's things that are happening like during the webinar. All right. So we are here, and I'm going to go ahead and get started and screen share. People will continue to come into the chat so you guys can say hi to each other and see where people are from. So glad to have you here tonight. All right, we are going to screen share so I can show you what I have prepared for you this evening. Awesome. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Thank you so much for joining. Many of you know me already. My name is Fatima Williams Castro, and I am the founder of Beyond the Tenure Track. Again, I said my assistant Katie is here. She's in the chat. So if there's anything that you need or any questions you have, you will definitely hear Katie in the chat, and you can reach out to her. Welcome to tonight's session. I am going to keep us brief and also make sure that while brief, we get what you came for. All right. So most of you have already started to introduce yourselves. As you're coming on, please say hi. Tell us where you're from. Can't wait to see. Many of you know me already from the work I do with Beyond the Tenure Track, my company. You know me as the founder of Beyond the Tenure Track, and also professional development coach. And, I'm starting out a little bit by telling you some about me because I want to set the stage a bit for how it is that I come to do what I'm going to teach this evening. So you may have seen me in photos like these where I'm on campuses or at organizations doing professional development trainings for organizations or for universities. This one in particular, I think, was University of Tennessee sometime earlier this year. Also, doing webinars. Like just recently, I partnered with the Chronicle of Higher Ed. We had 600 people registered for that webinar. It was crazy. There's been a lot of great things that have been happening for me professionally and for the business that I have over the past 3 years. I'm really proud of the clients that I have. Here's some of their success stories, and these are just snippets. One client in particular who had been job searching for a while, and she landed gratefully at a really great position for her at the Harvard Business School, really moving up in her career, doing global studies work, but being able to do it on the management side. Also, another client who won a national award of 40 under 40 for women in the college setting and administration. And a number of different people whose photos you see here. And at some point later, if you wanted to hear more about their disciplines and their backgrounds, you could certainly do that. But it's really amazing to see all of this great work that's happened over the past 3 years in my business. But I'll be honest with you and say that while people see the outside of all this great stuff happening, what they don't get to see is the growing pains that happen behind the scenes. And these growing pains, I share these with you because I know that a number of you who are on tonight are really interested in doing things that feel a bit audacious, or they feel big and they feel a little off the beaten track, like starting a business or completely switching careers or doing uncommon things like, embarking on a new career, writing a book. Maybe for academics that might seem like not so uncommon, but truly there's not a lot of authors and published authors, book authors out there. So I want to kind of peel back a little bit and say that I know and I understand how isolating it can be to have these kind of big goals and these uncommon goals. And I also know what it looks like to kind of get midway. And while you have all this great success, it can still feel like, well, who do I turn to and who are my peers or colleagues while I am along the way? Trying to make this goal come to pass. And I'll tell you some as I go through the teaching tonight. But what I definitely want to share with you is that I knew that, between my questionings of who are the mentors that I can have to take me to this next level, even with practical things like where do I get a website done and get it done professionally and really well on a good budget. And also things like, how do I make time for myself while pursuing this really big goal? These are some of the things that I had to figure out because honestly, my passion was about to turn into my nightmare. And so that's why I want to help today, because I know that a number of you are already getting started thinking about 2017 and what's going to happen for you and what you really want to create for this upcoming year. So I want to focus today on how to finish anything that you start without losing your passion, your sanity, or your life. Because we know that these things kind of fall through the cracks once we start really deciding that we want to accomplish something big. We want to get off the treadmill, out of the routine, and carve our own path. So today I'm going to share 4 strategies that I've learned and that I implement on a regular basis for myself, as well as share with my coaching clients. And so first, we're going to talk about how to get focused. Often we have these big goals, but we're not sure where to start, or worse yet, we have too many of them, and then we really don't know where to start. And isolation becomes a huge thing when you start thinking about carving out your own path. So we're going to talk about how to get out of that isolation and also to stay motivated on the journey. And best yet, how to create life-work harmony. Notice I did not say work-life balance. I'm trying to change the scales up a little bit here, where we can put our boundaries around the goals that we have. Yes, we can be ambitious, but we want to make sure that we make time for ourselves and for our lives. And so my goal for you this evening before we leave is that you will be able to determine that one thing that will set your course for this year. So I took this photo recently when I was speaking in Florida at the Institute for Teaching and Mentoring. And I said, this is, so it just sums up like kind of where we are, right? Like there's these things that we want to accomplish, hopefully not just before we die, but in this case, like in the next year. And so I want to talk a bit about how to gain focus to accomplish these big goals. Right about this time of the year, most of us start thinking about and reflecting on the year that we've just gone through, December. And we're looking back, thinking about the things that we have accomplished and also about the changes looking forward that we want to see in the new year. And I know that some of you may be frustrated with your progress for 2016, book chapters that you've outlined but not quite started drafting, unfinished goals, stalled projects, maybe that new job that you really wanted to be starting by now. And some of these things can look like stalled efforts. And then others of you, because I know some of you too who are on this call and we've coached before, I know that you have made some progress in your career goals and in, goals to build a small business. And you're really concerned about how to leverage that growth that you've had this year to continue to keep moving forward. And so for some of you, that looks like, what does it mean to move up in my current position? Or what does it mean to gain more responsibility or get that raise or that recognition that I want? Or what does it mean to start a side business? And so I want to talk to these things tonight. And I recognize that you want change and that you want to be a finisher, not just starting goals, but actually accomplishing the things that you set out to. And so we tend to start setting goals that look a little bit like this. I want to start my new job, in 6 months. I want to expand my influence in my field, or I want to start a side business or grow my business. And I'll tell you, because I do this work a lot and I work with people one-on-one a lot. The challenge to setting goals this way is we're considering what it is that we want to accomplish in the upcoming year. But we're setting goals that are so vague or that lack inspiration that it's kind of hard to really get started. I mean, where do you start when you say start a new job? Well, what does that even mean? Where, when, how? And so I want to urge us to get to some more specifics so that we can set goals that actually not just, spark us initially, but that can keep us going. And so instead of saying these kind of broad strokes like start a business or transition to a new job, I'm inviting you to go a little bit deeper and set deeper goals that really have more detail to them, like these that you see here. So secure my first paying customer at $5,000 by a particular date. In this case, I just put March. Or get a new position in the tech industry with a $5,000 increase by March. Or maybe it's get a new position in a new state, Florida, by March 2017. As much as you know for right now, my invitation to you is to take a look at how you can get more specific about that big, broad goal that you have. So I want to point you to a resource that I'm sharing. When you registered, you may have received this already, but my colleague Katie will put a link in the chat for you and you can download it now. It's just a quick, a quick link that you can click on and you can open this up while we're even in the webinar. It is the Be Bold Goal Setting Guide. It is a one-page tool I adapted from like a longer curriculum that I use with coaching clients that I have that stick with me over months. And I boiled it down to things that we could accomplish this evening to help you move forward. So it's a one-pager. Make sure you have that. Katie will put the link there, and I'll also make sure you get it after the call. This is my way of saying thank you for showing up. Thank you for showing up for yourself and also for investing and moving forward for yourself. And so there's a spot on here that asks about SMART goals. And you've heard about SMART goals. They need to be measurable, achievable, all of these things. But really what SMART goals boil down to is kind of what I have here as an example. So again, instead of I want to start my new business, it is I want to get my first customer by this date. Or maybe for you, it's I want to finish my business plan. But right now, I want you to take a couple seconds and just think about, you've got a loose kind of goal in your mind right now, but how could you make it more specific? And I want you to jot that down. You can play around with it later, but I at least want you to get the wheels turning and jot that down. So think about one business or career goal that you have for next year. Keep it as specific as you can, thinking about when, how much, how often, or where. Okay, so if you have the guide, you can jot it down there. That's great. It's a fillable PDF, so you can actually just kind of type right in it. You don't have to print it out. So that's the getting down to specifics. I'm really wanting to encourage you to think about what those bigger goals mean if they are more detailed. But here's the thing. These SMART goals, they are smart. They kind of get us closer to what it is, really articulating what it is that we say we want in more of a direct format, something that feels a bit more actionable because it has more detail. But one of the things that we often forget is the experience that we want along the way of accomplishing this goal. And I know, most of you on this call are just like me. You're high achievers. You set the bar really high for the goals that you want to accomplish, or they're big things that you want to accomplish. And often you can get started and then you're on this treadmill of like chasing the goal so much that you may forget about yourself or your family or your friends, and you're kind of drifting off a bit so into the goal that you've disconnected from them, or you've not kind of been a whole well-rounded person as you would like to be. And so I am asking you to think about, so you do start that new job, or you have that new client that you want with this business that you want to get started. But what does it feel like? I mean, is it stressed? Are you, feeling a bit overwhelmed? Or instead, are you saying that the experience that you would like is, I want to be celebrated, or I want to feel at ease. I want to experience what it's like to be supported along this journey. Or maybe you say, I want to do this collaboratively. And so here I'm going to invite you again to look at your Be Bold goal setting guide. And there's a question there. It's the fifth one down. And it says, how do I want to feel on the journey to pursuing this goal? So I don't know about you, but at one point I had to say, lonely was not going to do it. I did not want to keep working on my own by myself. Collaboration was not my goal, but certainly ease was my goal. I wanted to feel like I was in community. So for me, that meant being connected to other people who were also achieving and striving. And I wanted to feel a little bit stretched. It's okay to want to feel stretched. You may be at the place where you need that right now, where you need to stretch a little bit because you've been too comfortable. But what I'm inviting you to do right now is to take a moment and think about that big goal that you have and ask yourself, what do I want this journey to be like for me? What do I want this experience to be like? Because certainly my goal in helping you here is, again, I want to make sure that you don't lose your mind, your sanity, or your life. And so that means that we have to be intentional about how it is we want to go into these goals. Then the question becomes, how do I stay motivated while pursuing the goals? And all of you know this, that January rolls around and everyone is doing really great. February, you're still on it. By March, April, October, the steam is gone. And so one of the tools that many people use who are successful is really beginning to envision what you want before you get started. And so by envisioning what you want before you get started, this, I really do mean this in the sense of not just daydreaming about it, but actually scripting it out and writing it out. I'll give you an example of how I've used this with one of my coaching clients who actually, her testimonial was one of the earlier ones about the 40 Under 40 award. So she came to me, EDD, so she has her doctorate in education, and she was just ready to go to the next level in her career. She'd been in her position for a couple of years and felt like she had her footing, and it was time to challenge herself in a new way. And quite frankly, she was ready to start earning some more money and get respect for the work that she was already doing and the degree that she had. She felt like she was being underutilized and not challenged. And so the work that we did together was to figure out, well, what does that new work look like? What does it actually look like in the everyday? Before we start trolling around job ads and looking, we need to know what it is you actually want. And so part of her early assignment, before all the networking, before all the strategy and everything, part of the strategy had to be to get clear on what it was that she wanted. And so I told her, take as much as, type, write, whatever you need to do, but script out for yourself, what does a week in the life of you in this new position look like? What she came up with was amazing because it allowed her to take out of her head what she knew she wanted and articulate it more clearly, which ultimately helped her in her networking. And then you see she's winning awards and that she's nominated for, and just, you know, really a rock star. But she went from everything from, you know, the meetings that she was attending, the board meetings that she would be on, the staff that she would be managing, what it was like in the morning to wake up early, get her coffee, have her itinerary and her agenda already set by her assistant, her getting into the office earlier in the morning than everyone else to set the tone for the day. I mean, she really went into detail, and I am so sure that this is one of the pieces among many that we did together that really helped her to see, what exactly is it that I need? What does recognition and this next level actually look like to me? And so for some of you who are saying you want to go to the next level of your career and have professional influence, I want to invite you to dig a little deeper under that and, you know, envision what it is that you desire. What does it mean to have more influence in your career? What is it? Invitations to events? Is it at meetings that you attend? Is it boards that you sit on? Is it a new office? What does that mean to have influence? Similarly with a business. A number of you said that you wanted to grow your businesses. Well, what does growth look like? Does that look like more staff? Does that look like less time on task? Does that look like larger revenues, more impact? What does that look like? And so one tool that you can use is to envision what you want before you get started. Similarly, I truly believe in affirmations. And I know a lot of people, you know, are kind of like, oh, this is new age and I don't know, does it really work? Well, I just want to dispel any kind of ideas right now that we're not talking about something that's mystical in any way. But what we're talking about is using statements that will help to replace that negative self-talk that you have and old patterns of habit. We all have it. We all experience it. The moment you want to try something new that you haven't done before, it is the, well, who else is going to be at this event? Will I be there by myself? Should I really be going after this job? I don't even have all of the skills that they mentioned in the job ad. Well, how would I get my first client? Will they even pay the rate that I want? We will, with our own negative self-talk and our own self-doubt, and then just even the people around us who are not striving in the same ways, we can very quickly talk ourselves out of going the distance that we want to go because we've decided before we've even started that maybe it's not possible or maybe it's too hard. And so that's why I created, you know, the book, Be Bold, Launch Your Job Search or Career Change with Confidence, because I saw my clients, especially those going through career transition, saying, you know I can do it, but man, this is not easy. I know it can happen, but it doesn't feel good right now. And so not just feeling good, but it's what can I say to myself that I know to be true that can counteract this language. And so here's an example of one of the affirmations. I have endless creativity. I am open to innovative ways to making a living and to doing meaningful work. And there's many more that are in the book. And actually, for anyone who is going to be a part of the Be Bold Mastermind, you actually will get a copy of the book and the audio affirmations as a part of your membership, because I know just how much it takes out of you to really create something new and to get off the beaten path. And so we're still talking about focus, like how to gain that focus. As I shared with you earlier with the SMART goals, you know, I really recommend, and most people do because all of the literature on multitasking tells us that we just do not do well with multitasking. And so my strategy is to set one goal. That's right, one goal, one big goal at a time. I don't try to take on, oh, I'm gonna, you know, start this new health habit and exercise and, you know, get these new 5 clients and somehow start basket weaving all at the same time. It just doesn't work. That doesn't mean that I don't have those desires, that I don't have those goals, but certainly I know what it feels like to feel overwhelmed by the ideas that we have, especially if you're creative. You've got lots of ideas, and a lot of them are probably really good. And so here's one of the devices that I use. What you're looking at right now is a clip of one of my journals from the beginning of 2016. At the beginning of each year, I make a list of 101 goals. Yes, 101. Don't ask me why 101 and not 100 or not 79. I don't know. But 101 goals. And these run the gamut. I don't know if you can read this. I hope not, because some of these are a little, are a little personal. But some of them are financial goals, they're savings goals, they are little things, they are different technology that I might want to try out. They are professional things that just need to be done, like updating my LinkedIn profile and, all my social media profiles. Many different things that are on here. Vacations, gifts that I want to give, new services that I want to be able to offer, organizations that I want to volunteer with. There is a little bit of everything here. But the purpose of this is it gives me a space for what psychologists call cognitive offloading. And that's just, fancy language to say, I get to put this somewhere so that I can leave headspace for this one goal that I have. I can literally devote my energy to this one goal that I have so that everything else isn't floating around and taking up cognitive space. It's here in my 101 goals list. Now, notice that these are not action plans. It truly is an inventory. It is a list. And it's been helpful for me even when I get stuck along the way and I'm like, I'm not sure what to do next or what to do now. I can always pull this out. And I do. Every couple months I pull it out, and I'm surprised myself when I've actually checked things off of it without even being deliberate. So what are some ways that you can grow your career or your business while still having a life? And I put these two here because these are the main areas that everyone who completed the survey really wanted, was to focus on a side business, developing it, growing it, or taking their career to the next level. And so one key here is you've got to get organized. You have to put systems in place that will support your overall goals. What you're looking at right here is a combination of my Google Calendar for 2017. This is a 2017 shot because this is like way too clean to be my 2016. And somewhere on the side, I've got a paper calendar. And so how did I come to do this? I've been doing this for some time, but it got to be pretty critical for me earlier in the year. I had one of my busiest speaking seasons ever. Literally, I felt like I was on the road every week, and at some points it really was. One week it'd be Florida, the next week it was Kansas, the next week New York, Pennsylvania, all to accommodate last-minute requests from my clients. They wanted trainings. They hadn't really planned it well enough in advance, but they had an event coming and they needed their students to be trained, or they needed their nonprofit to be trained, or their staff to be trained, and they wanted me to do it. And you know what? Quite frankly, at that point, I'm like, this is great for revenue. This is really great for my business, but it nearly burned me out. I was so exhausted from spending time on airports and planes and trains, and I was missing some of the things that I really enjoyed doing, which were pretty simple, like my once a week swim class that I paid money for to be in. I was missing it, something that brought me joy and helped me to feel balanced. I was throwing all off course because I was trying to meet expectations that were set for me professionally. And so here are some of the systems that I put in place. And I think, especially as you grow professionally, whether you are starting a business or you're looking for a new career, you're going to be kind of doing a couple things at once. If you are trying to get a new job right now, most likely you have a job or you're finishing up a degree or doing something of the sort. So you're kind of doing two things at once. And so personal organization is going to be really important. And one of the things that I do, you'll notice that I'm really consistent about this. I start on Sunday nights, and this is only 1 hour. I'm not really into planning the whole crux of my life, but 1 hour on Sunday evenings, I look out into the week and say, okay, what do I want this week to be like? What do I need to accomplish this week? And this is not like, what is the to-do list? That's not what I'm asking. It is what needs to be done so that I feed back into that main goal that I have for this month or this period that I'm in right now. And that helps me to edit down so that I know what needs to get done without kind of getting stuck. And then I plot those things on paper. So I plot the actual activities, I plot them. This is my paper agenda. I plot the activities, I plot the time it takes to get work done, as well as any meetings that I have. And then once that's done, I record anything that's like meeting based in my Google Calendar. Why do I use both tools? The Google Calendar is helpful for you because as you're on the go, and you can use any, I'm sure Outlook also has these if you are, if you're not if you don't use Google Calendar, but it allows you, like, while you're on the go and a friend invites you somewhere or a colleague asks you to take on a new task or a new role, you can easily take a look at your calendar without having to dig around for a paper calendar or lug around, sort of a hefty paper calendar to see where you are. And so this is one of the tools that I use. And I will tell you, it helped me to be able to do this that you see right here. Earlier this year, I was able to plan a 1-month workcation. Yes, I'm kind of making up a word. Slight work, slight vacation to Amsterdam. I was able to spend a month there because I was really looking for, how can I make time for meaningful experiences? Yes, I still have to meet with my clients. Yes, I still have to work. I'm not in the position to take a full month off of work. But how can I make time for meaningful experiences? One of my mentors puts it this way: a planned life is a good life. And so with that same calendaring system, one of the things that I do is I take a look over the entire year. Now notice these are things that I've had to put in place because I really got to a point of, like, it was too much. Squeeze myself into the margins, but work was just like smattering all over my calendar, and I was missing events that I wanted to be a part of. And so now what I do is set up where I look out at the entire year and look at what's coming down the pike. What is it that I want to do this year? What's something fun that I want to do? A fun event or a trip or something like that I want to take. So for 2017, for example, I've already plotted out the last weekend in June is going to be a meetup with college friends of mine. We're going to a music festival. Everyone was so happy that we just set the calendar to it and said, yes, we're going to plan it. And it just put things in motion for us. So it allowed me to feel like a full person that's actually not just doing work that I enjoy, but living life that I enjoy. I've also planned another trip back to Amsterdam and my birthday party. I'm ashamed to say, but up until recently, like really, really recently, I would even let like my birthday pass, or, some holidays would kind of just come and go, or I'd scramble at the end to really participate in them. And I had to make a decision that goal setting and living my professional life is not the only life that I have. And so that's something that's going to be important for you in 2017 as you want to go to the next level, to think about what are the things that you want to make time for. So here I'm going to invite you again, take a look at the Be Bold Goal Setting Guide. There's a question here that's next to the last one, and it's titled Enjoy Life. And I want you to take a moment to think about and jot down just one. You don't have to jot down all of them, but what is one fun event? We're not talking about professional things here. One fun event or a trip or some activity that you want to experience in this year that will help you to celebrate yourself and enjoy yourself. Mine last year was a birthday brunch where I gathered friends who came from different states and they stayed the weekend. It may be a girlfriend's weekend. It can be anything. But I'm inviting you to take a moment and actually think, what do you want for yourself? And the music festival is the Essence Music Festival. So yes, anyone else want to go? We are definitely going to New Orleans in the end of June, the beginning of July. So yeah, it's fun because now I know I'm going to have one of my busiest seasons early spring, but I've got something really fun to look forward to in the summer, and I'm super excited about that. So I'd love to hear what fun event you want to do next year. Again, we've got to be whole people, right? We can't just accomplish big goals. So your fun event that you have, or the thing that you want to do, the trip that you want to do, love to hear about it. You can let us know in the chat. And the other thing that you can do, and this is something that I learned about maintaining this focus so that I can have a life as well as growing my career in business, is learn how to take shortcuts. And I know right now that does not feel comfortable. Most of you on this call are super achievers. You've got doctorates, you have master's degrees, you've got MBAs, you have law degrees. Taking shortcuts is not exactly what we were trained to do. I mean, yes, maybe to get through all the reading in grad school, you try to figure out ways, but we are not usually comfortable with thinking about shortcuts. But I'm gonna push you a little bit here to think about where you can take your shortcuts. Mine, the photos that you see right now, are food that I love, that I prepare. What's the shortcut here? I really enjoy healthy food and I like trying new things, but I don't have a lot of time for meal planning or grocery shopping. That's just not how I envision spending my time. And so even though I had to find a way to satisfy the thing that I really want, healthy food, gourmet meals, new recipes. So I started using a meal delivery service called Plated. And it's really cool. You get to, go in the online app. Every week, new menus come out and you can choose the meals that you want. And they get delivered to you. All the ingredients are delivered. Everything is pre-measured. It's shipped right to my house. The recipes come with it. It is perfect. Yes, the service may cost me a little bit more than going to the grocery store, but this shortcut allows me to save time. It allows me to, which really for me as a business owner, time is money. It's a limited resource. It allows me to focus on other things that are important to me while still getting what I want. So here, I'd love to hear from you about one shortcut, one thing that you might do in the upcoming year to make a bit more space and time for yourself. These can be a shortcut like services, like I use like Plated, or it may be having laundry service done. So like the drop off, laundry, you may do that. You might have, help with walking your dog. It can be anything, but things that allow you more time and space to focus on the things that matter. Maybe for you, walking your dog is a big thing and that's important to you. So whatever it is, whatever the shortcut is, I would love to hear what something that you might do in the upcoming year. And one of the things too is that we can learn from each other and get ideas from each other as you see each other kind of post things in the chat. I know one, Amazon delivery is pretty big for many people. Having groceries delivered, so maybe not meal service, but many things you can do to create some shortcuts for yourself. Awesome. So, even for someone who's trying to finish their book or their dissertation, one of your shortcuts might be to have someone actually run, if you are doing like data analysis. So let's say you've got statistical data or something like that. You may actually find someone who can run your data sets for you. You can pay them a little bit, but they can run the data sets for you. Finding a manuscript editor is awesome. I actually have a colleague that I can recommend who is an academic who does really great work on manuscripts of all different types. And so that's a resource I would definitely be willing to share with anyone who needs it. So yeah, there's different things that you can do. And I want to make sure that we are clear about we don't have to do these things alone. So that big goal that you reflected on in the beginning of this session, I want you to know that isolation is not your friend to getting there, and getting there with your sanity, getting there with having a life. And so the photo that you see in front of you is one of the mastermind groups that I belong to. This group is an amazing group. You and your circle right now, your friend circle right now, you may not know many people who are doing what you're doing. So whether that's you as a solopreneur who's trying to grow your business, or building a side hustle while you're also at your full-time job, or trying to finish that book or dissertation, it can be isolating, especially if those closest to you, like friends, family, or a partner, are not doing the same thing. And so I encourage you to, one, get connected, even if it stretches you. So this photo right here, never mind the guy who just could not find it in his heart to smile during this session, during this photo. But this was me at a state chamber of commerce meeting, maybe last year sometime. And I'm here with a government cabinet member, with a leading press officer, with a nonprofit of a CEO, with a bank manager for small business lending. You know, connecting with other successful people enhances your view of what is possible for yourself. Exposure to new people and places, it really does increase your access. Too often we have the type A kind of idea that we can go it alone, that we can figure it out. Yeah, things are figure outable. You can figure things out, but wouldn't it be quicker, faster, probably easier to get help from other people who've been there? And so this exposure to new people, new places, new things actually increases your access to information, resources, opportunity, networks, and it also helps to fuel your desire to keep going. And I know it can be scary. You know, going to this event, I went by myself. I took off a full day of work. That means no building my business, no seeing clients. I'm just going to go, even though I feel like the work that I do is so obscure to most business building communities that, you know, how could this possibly be of help to me? You'll have all kinds of questions in your head. Will I fit in? Will I talk like them? What if I don't know anyone else who's going? But you know what? That is going to have to take a back seat when you want to accomplish something new. And so I like to call these stretch activities. And you should have some stretch activities somewhere in you. That is the only way that you will grow and reach that capacity that you're trying to get further in next year. And so take a moment in your goal setting guide. The last question there is asking you, what is one professional activity, event, training, or conference that you want to participate in this year that will expand your exposure? Just one event. And get as specific as possible. You may know the name of the conference, you may know the location of the date, but jot it down. And if you normally attend a conference each year, that's not the one we're asking about here. This is the stretch. This is the new thing. So maybe you're saying, you know what, I really want to do more in the tech field. I'm going to attend a tech conference in New York or in San Francisco next year. Then later you can, you know, investigate a bit and actually find the conference and get going with registration. But for right now, jotting down in your guide, what is your stretch activity for next year? What is that one thing that you can accomplish next year that will stretch you professionally? Then I invite you to seek mentorship. Listen, one of you know, the downfalls of having all the education that we do sometimes is that we get used to getting information and guidance from really traditional sources and often from places of higher learning. And so often what this does is it means that we get used to learning from the same peers, the same ideas, and we're not really expanding out our circle to new ideas, new theories, new ways of thinking, even if they feel a little bit uncomfortable and like new things that we're not sure we're ready to take on. But too often we stay closed up in the groups that we're currently in and we're not stretching out. And so there's going to come a time, and I feel like for many of you on this webinar tonight, it really is coming up for you now because you want something different. You want something different to happen for you. You want a change to happen. You've already been trying, but somehow it's just not getting you across the stretch. And so I invite you to think about what mentorship would look like, what a new form of mentorship would look like for you. And, you know, for me, I belong to 2 mastermind groups. Actually, only one currently, but at one point I was in 2 of them. The photos that you see right here are a mastermind that I participated in that truly stretched me a lot. This group, I trained under this multi-millionaire businesswoman who's really great with marketing and has amazing tools for how to really grow a business. To be a part of her mastermind, I paid $10,000 for the year. $10,000 for the year to be a part of her mastermind. This made me stretch. It made, not just financially, but it made me take myself and my business seriously. It made me take my growth seriously in a new way. And what it did was it also brought me new information that I would not have been able to Google or otherwise just ask 1 or 2 people about. We were together for the entire year. We had monthly meetings. We had in-person meetings like the ones you see here. I met women business owners who from everywhere, from countries in Europe, from the Caribbean. When I got stuck on, you know, who can I hire to build my website? Who can I hire to do my copy editing? You know, what platform should I be using to build this new curriculum out? I didn't have to spend a lot of time and money, wasting time and money in new, you know, kind of just looking through Google and trying to figure it out. But I had direct lines to people who'd done it before and who tested it. So instead of having to research, you know, 100 online platforms to figure out a course, I could reach out to this group, and now I have 2. And now I just have to figure out, of these tried and true, which 2 work the best. So yes, it stretched me in some ways, but I learned so much, and it exposed me to how business can happen at another level. And it helped me to think bigger, but not just think bigger. It increased my business from, you know, going from $0 in the beginning to $70,000 in 2 years. When I was in Amsterdam, I was able to meet up with one of the colleagues that I'd met at this conference. So yeah, this mastermind, while it required something of me, it also like made me come up to the next level. I had to show up for my peers in the same way that they were showing up for me. It let me know that I had something to present, that I had something to offer. And so some of you will find that there's conferences this year that you want to attend and things that you want to do that are going to stretch you. I encourage you, you know, get to it. Don't just have it as an idea, but really put it out there for yourself that this isn't just an idea, but this has legs and it's going somewhere. So then I want to ask you about your team. Who is on your team? Again, mentorship is one piece. If you really want to grow professionally and you want to accelerate your growth and you don't want to be isolated while doing this, you will have to, you know, kind of get out of the type A, like self-discipline is enough and I can just do this on my own. I didn't realize how much I thought I was like able to rely on myself to get things done. I figure, you know, I wrote a dissertation. I pretty much did all that on my own. There were only a few check-in points with my advisor. Of course, I can do this next level of business. But you know what? Self-discipline is truly a myth and it's a limited resource. And I'll share with you a bit of a secret. I believe in having successful friends and not just social friends. So I'll start with social friends because you probably have an understanding of this and you have your own social friends. The social friends are the ones that you call when you want to go out for dinner, or you're going to have a potluck at your house, or you want to go out for drinks, or you want to go dancing, or you just want to do something really fun. Those are your social friends. Your successful friends, however, are the ones that will do like we're doing in this group right now, plan for the next year of the work that we're doing. So that's the photo that you're seeing right now. Is in October, this is part of one of my mastermind groups. We are all business owners here. We sat down and planned out 2017 back in October or September, earlier this year. So these aren't people that I normally hang out with, but certainly these are my successful friends. Who will you contact when you're saying, you know what, I am ready to go to the next level in growing my business. I want to do more and I'm not sure how to do that or where to get started, or I need an introduction. at that company that I want to work at, or the organization I want to get in front of to pitch my new service. Yeah, those are your successful friends because they get it and they're invested in you in a different way. And so what you don't see in this shot of my successful friends are one entrepreneur who is about to break the boundary and the barrier of making his first million. He literally started as a blog. He started as a blog and is now, impacted so many lives in his work through his teaching, his training, his tools, business tools that he uses, and kind of professional development tools. It's amazing. What you also don't see here is, or that's not obvious here, is that there is an editor of Essence Magazine, the #1 magazine for women of color in the US, and that gets shipped out globally as a model as well. So when I think about, I'm ready to start publishing in new venues, how can I do that? I can look to my left, literally, contact her, and it's an open door for information about how to do that from someone who's already doing it and who knows the ropes. There's also another person in this here who is an IT professional that, when he describes what he does, I don't even always understand, but it doesn't matter because when I had my IT need, I just contacted him and was like, hey, you know what, Jamal, I'm having this issue. I need to figure out what platform to use. What do I do? Very quickly, because this is his level of expertise, it cut out the time that it would take for me to figure it out. I had help. What you also don't see here is an entrepreneur who I think is only her second year of business, has a commercial with Toyota, has been featured in Forbes, has spoken at FinCon. This is what you really want your team to do for you, your successful friends to do for you. And I'll tell you, this is not something that most of us could build on our own quickly. It would take us years to do this. And what the masterminds that I belong to help me to do is to really accelerate this growth and accelerate these connections. So my goal for you on this evening, and I know we've kind of gone through a number of things, but my goal really is to help you finish strong, whether that's your book, whether it's getting that business started with, actually finishing that business plan, whether it's completing those dissertation chapters so you can move on to the next piece of life. Yeah, Janet, how do you find successful friends? We are certainly going there. How to find, that new job that you really want. I know what it's like to feel isolated, to feel lost, along the way when that motivation really starts to dwindle, when things get tough. And that is why I created what will start very soon is the mastermind group, the Be Bold Mastermind group. I started this because I know that you want to make a change for next year, and you know that you want support because you don't want 2017 to be a carbon copy of last year. So here's what I am offering to everyone now. I know that no one succeeds on their own. Doesn't matter what it looks like. Successful people in the world run together. They run in packs. And they also work with coaches. Now, many of you have heard of people like Tony Robbins and these kind of big superstar coaches. But successful people have mentors and coaches that they go to. And they invest in doing that coaching because they know that they want to be held accountable, not just to their idea, but actually accountable to the transformation that they want to see. I know that some of you did not get the results that you desired this year, and that you're not sure how to make sure that 2017 is different for you. Some of you are actually feeling stuck right now because you have the tools, you've got the information, you've got the career change manual, you know how to do it, you have it in front of you, but for some reason you're stuck along the way, or you're just tired of doing it on your own and on an island, and you too are looking for, how can I get these things done in community so they're a little bit more fun? And how do I know that? Because that was also me. I had to go from the type A mentality and that kind of PhD mentality of I can do it all on my own. And what I did was I found a coach that I could model, someone who would also be in it with me and hold me accountable. And then you saw my successful friends, and those are two different circles of friends that I have. And so that's why I created the Be Bold Mastermind. Be Bold is for those who are really ready to achieve that next level of accountability and ready to go that next level in their goals. It is a 12-month accountability group that I've set for only 25 committed people, go-getters who are ready to take the fast track to grow their businesses or their careers in this upcoming year. As many of you know, I'm doing less one-on-one coaching on these days. One-on-one coaching can be quite intensive. And so this is my way of being able to help more people and to be able to do it in a way that's effective for you. For those of you who have coached with me one-on-one, you know that I charge $300 an hour, and typically we do 3 sessions at a minimum, which you can already do the math on that. But I know that there are people right now in our community and right here on the webinar who are invested in their change and are invested in going to the next level, but they cannot afford the packages of the $3,000 and above to really be able to get the coaching that they want and the breakthrough that they want through coaching. And so that's why I've created this program, because it allows me to scale and to be able to help more people and touch more lives, and really to be able to see you through the transformation, not just giving you, bits of information here and there, but really being able to help you see through it. So what does Be Bold Mastermind include? Each month, you'll set one sort of big goal. It can be whatever you want that's around your business or your career. It might be, this month I'm going to draft a chapter. I'm going to finish that book chapter. It doesn't have to be perfect, but I'm going to finish it. It might be I'm going to call 10 new companies to pitch my resume or to ask for an informational interview. It might be develop a new training or workshop that you want to offer to get to new clients. Whatever it is, but that's what we do at the beginning of the month. And then throughout the month, I'll be tracking your progress and coaching with you online using a new platform that we've developed to help me to be able to stay in better contact with you and to support your goals. The secret to accomplishing your goals is consistency and accountability. So we'll be tracking your transformation as I'll be tracking my own. And I want to focus on those who really want to get it done this year. And so what does Be Bold consist of? You get 10 virtual mastermind meetings at the beginning of the month. This is where it's 60 to 90 minutes where we'll celebrate our success from the previous month and kind of look at where we did well and where we might want to fine tune for the upcoming month. So really evaluating our performance on our goals. And then we'll set a new goal for the upcoming month. And we do this collectively because there's power in the collective. You don't have to do it alone. So we do this together in our virtual mastermind meeting. And then I also include a brief professional development teaching that helps you to break through that next barrier. And I base these teachings on what I see from you in the coaching space that you're asking me about. Then mid-month, there's 10 accountability calls, and this happens mid-month. And so this is where we actually get to come together and we get on the phone and we're talking to each other. So this is where members, you can bring your strategies, your struggles and your challenges or any blocks that you're having around your goal. These might be blocks in your mindset. They might be blocks with resources that you need or just information that you need, but you can get coached live right there using what the mastermind model calls the hot seat. I like to call these struggle to strategy sessions because you don't have to struggle through these things. You have a group that can help you to strategize. And so there you'll get coached one-on-one by me. And then your team members who are also there will also be able to chime in to offer any insights or advice. Now you may be saying, okay, if there's 25 of us in this group, how can I get my questions answered? How can all 25 of us get our questions answered on this monthly call? In my experience with masterminds, there's never a single month where every single person has a struggle to strategy. And remember, you'll also have coaching with me on your online platform. But what happens on these calls is you also get to hear other people's strategy that may also inform your own, or you get to help them. And this literally happens in the matter of minutes. We're able to work through it. Next, you get 50 weeks of direct online coaching from me. That is throughout the entire year. You will be coached by me using our online platform that was created just for this purpose. Once a week, I'll check in on you and I'll coach you to help you clarify your goals and give you feedback. And trust me, I will not let you fall through the cracks, because the online platform that's been developed, which you can see right here, allows me to check in on you, and also for me to be able to send you notes directly. And we invested in building this platform because we really wanted you to be able to see your success and see your goals. Okay, this is where I would coach you directly. So this is your view. You get to see what it's like to put your goal in each month, and then moving that green progress bar so we can see how well you're doing. Most of this is all confidential. The only thing that your team members would see is your progress. And if you have a goal where you need their support, you can also ask for their help. And here on the side where it says coach chat, that's where you and I would be. You'd ask your questions and I would go in with support for you. And this is my view, so that I would be able to see all of the team members all at once and be able to track your progress and see how you're doing and when you have questions. So this isn't just for your desktop. It also has a mobile app, so that while you're on the go, it may be easier for you to record your questions, or also to record your progress on the iPhone app or the Android app. We've really tried to make this simple and straightforward so that you can have something that works for you and that supports you at all times. You also, with your membership to Be Bold Mastermind, you get a 30-minute one-on-one visioning call with me. And many of you know that sometimes it just takes that phone call to be able to clarify your goal and get your vision set so that you can move forward. Here is where we'll go into deeper questions that are specific to you, one-on-one with me and you, where you get some of that knowledge that I spent, $10,000 or more for. And my masterminds, you get access to that as well. And even better, you get 25 new successful friends who are committed to your success. This is an instant network of people who are committed to getting to know who you are professionally and supporting you in your goals. It would take years to cultivate these relationships. I mean, you saw those people that I'm sitting around the table with, they may look like people I know and kind of would run into, but we're not in the same circles. We just would never have known each other. But genuinely, truly, that network has created more opportunities for me, new clients for me, referrals, information. It's been amazing. When I told some of my existing clients, my coaching clients, that I was thinking about starting this, I already got people just saying right away that they wanted to join. And so we have some founding members already. One person who's decided to join, her name is Kaylin, and she's an executive of marketing and communications at Barnabas Health System here in New Jersey, where I'm located. And she's leading in the field of corporate communications and media strategies. She literally sits right under the CEO. She's in the C-suite. And this is someone who says, yes, you know what, I need this, and I want to make sure that I have accountability to getting to my next level, and I want to be in community with other people who are doing this. And we also have one of my colleagues and new friends, Lene Michelle, who I met actually in Amsterdam. She lives in Amsterdam now, but by day, she works in finance at a major corporation, a major travel company. And she's also the co-founder of Amsterdam Black Women, which is a group of 300 expat women living and working in Amsterdam. She built this with another friend in like no time at all. So she brings to the group her ability to know how to bring people together, how to create online communities, how to do social media marketing and social media planning. And it also means that she's also bringing in her expertise from her day job, finance at Booking.com. Well, I mean, they're huge. And so these are people who are saying, yes, I'm successful, but you know what? I also know that I can't do it by myself, and I don't need to do it by myself. And these are people that you would have access to as a part of your group of successful friends. Part of what you also get with the mastermind is 24-hour access to the online community. And this is an amazing space where you can share success, you can share small bits of progress, You can share big bits of progress. You can ask questions. It is truly a phenomenal experience when you are in the zone. Even if you feel like, you know what, I'm not doing as much as I want to, or things just may not quite be working out this month like I want to, you can always go in this group and get encouragement from each other. And so what this group says is you're not only taking, right? You're not only taking the coaching, you're not only taking the mastermind sessions, but you're also giving. You're saying that not only am I showing up for myself, but I'm showing up for others. And next, I want to show you what that means then for our monthly success cycle. So the meetings would happen on Tuesday, that first Tuesday of the month, that virtual mastermind meeting. That's where we do that celebration, that accountability, the goal setting that all of us do together in our online platform at the same time. It's really important that we do that together because you want that momentum of the group behind you. And then the next day, you make one small step that actually starts to knock down that domino to get you going on your goals. And we'll talk more about this for those of you who join. I'll actually share with you the exact method that I use that helps to accelerate success and kind of not just success, but just progress toward the goal. So you sort of drop down that first action step and that action item on that very next day, that very next day. And then later on in the week, I get on the online platform and I review your goals and I help you. I help you by asking questions, answering your questions, helping you to clarify places that maybe are not quite as clear. And then you continue to go on. These check marks really would be all over the board, but I just selectively place them. You continue to work throughout the month on your goal as is required by your own goal. And then again, in the next week, you get more online coaching. I jump into the group, I see where your progress is. And then mid-month is when we have that struggle to strategy session phone call that I talked about. That happens mid-month where you can get on and we actually are more interactive than what we are right now. It's not just a chat, it's actually us talking together and sharing questions and strategies. And then you continue throughout the rest of the month really working on your goal. And so I am very excited for this. I'm excited because I've seen how powerful this can be and how well it helps us to all feel accountable. And so I want to go over, just briefly summarize what it is that you get before I continue to make the offer. So January 2017 to December 2017, you get 10 virtual mastermind meetings, 10 mid-month accountability calls. And I say 10 instead of 12 because we actually take July and August as implementation months. These are the months where we really do, the implementation around, maybe there's some course correction that you need, or there's some things that you really want to work out that you want to just have a little bit of a break from the teachings to make sure that you're course correcting or you're digging deeper in. That's your July and August. You're working throughout the whole year, but I want to give you a little breathing room to make sure that you can implement. Okay. And so then we continue through all the way through though with 50 weeks of your direct online coaching, your 30-minute one-on-one call with me, your 25 new friends committed to your success, and then 24-hour access to our online community. You'll remember at the beginning of the call that I said that my hourly rate is $300 an hour. If we just took the first 3 of these at 36 hours, we're already at $10,800 for the entire year. And I know I paid $10,000 for my mastermind, but I certainly do not expect that that is a level that anybody or everybody would want to go to or could even fathom going to. And so what my offer is for the entire year that your membership would be $999. And so I told you how I invested at a high level. And so what I am doing is, rather than the $10,000 or over, or what the value of this would be if I was really working on this hour by hour, one by one, I'm willing to take a risk that for one-time payment that it would be $999 for the year. I bring to you the knowledge, the expertise, the tools that not only come from me participating in masterminds and my network, but also building a business and also my professional experience. But for those of you who are on here tonight, I am not going with the $9.99. That will start later for everyone else. Instead, for the year, it will be $7.99. $7.99 for the entire year. And that is you getting everything that we mentioned earlier. Everything that we mentioned earlier. Why $7.99 for the year? First, it's a pilot. Second, I'm really committed to helping you to go through to the next level. I know as a coach how I feel when I've done, 2, 3, 4, 6 sessions, month-long sessions, 3-month sessions with people, and I know that they need more help, but they cannot commit to the high price point that for them at that time just makes it inaccessible. And so I'm committed to your success, and I know the power of working together and working in a group, and I really want to bring that to my community and those of you who are here. I don't want to just provide information for you, but I want to be around for the transformation. And so I'm willing to take on the risks of doing this at $7.99 for the entire year, but also including in other bonuses for you. A number of you said to me that you want to build a business. You said that you wanted to start a business. So I'm throwing in for you, I am adding in here for you my course, 4 hours of instruction with video training and worksheets that are literally templates to help you get started. If you've been thinking about how do I start a coaching business, how do I start a consulting business or speaking, this is going to help you. Everyone who attended this course when I first offered it paid $497 just for this one course. And I'm offering this to anyone and everyone who gets started with Be Bold Mastermind. I also know that a number of you want to change careers and you want to change jobs, and that's really important to you. And so I am also pulling in here my Options for Success Career Exploration Program. This is 6 modules of lessons. They're audio lessons, so you get them as podcasts. And then with each lesson, you also get actionable worksheets to help you work through the material. That resume that you've been having a hard time writing, yes, there's templates for that. The cover letter that you're not sure how to get started for that new job, it's also in there. People have paid for this course, $600 for this course, to take this course. I've offered this course for 3 years, and this is the rate that it usually goes at. I know that you want to change careers, or you want to do something else, and I want to make sure that you get there. So I am also offering this as part of your membership. And then I am also offering, as I mentioned earlier, the Be Bold book and the audio. It's 30 daily affirmations. And also in the book, you'll have the skills assessment and kind of planning exercises to get you thinking about how to operationalize the things that you're learning, and also how to really start to put into play this positive thinking that's not just fluff, but actually will get you to the next level so that you can be that successful friend that you want to be for your colleagues and for the people who are in your team. So as I mentioned, that this is normally $9.99 for the year. It's going to go to $9.99 after the next 2 days. For right now, you can pay $7.99 to join. This offer, and I can tell you this is no gimmick. I'm not about that. It's $7.99 for the year. It will not stay the same. We've already pre-programmed how this works because it's going to go out to my full list and everyone else after, and it will go up to the $9.99 in just 2 days. But I know that some of you on the call are also saying, you know what, I know that I want to do this. I know that I want to show up for myself. I'm a student, or I'm just finishing, or I'm trying to get this, new job. I just got it. I'm trying to figure it out. And so I am so committed that I want to make sure that you get in, and I am offering for you $79 for 12 months. So that's $79 over the course of 12 months for you to be a part of the mastermind. If you pay the one pay, you save some money, but I understand that you may need to have a payment plan, and that's totally okay. I understand that, and trust me, I did not pay for my $10,000 mastermind in one fell swoop. It took me a payment plan to do that. So I understand. And I want you to know that you get the same bonuses as everyone else who's going to pay that $7.99 and later that $9.99. Okay, so there's no differentiation here for you. I am offering this because you showed up today, and I want to make sure that you get in, and I want to work with you. Some of you I've worked very briefly. I know what you have in you, and I want to work with you. And so to summarize, with everything that I'm offering, 12-month membership to Be Bold, that's valued at $10,800 at the minimum. The Earn More Money course so that you can start your side business and do so with templates and kind of effectively know that you're getting started. That course is valued at $499. That's what people paid when they first took the course when it was released. Also, my Career Change course at $599. That job search course is included here, as is the audio and book of Be Bold. The value of all of this together is almost $12,000. And these are not fake numbers. Like, these are numbers that a la carte, if you were to order these things, like, this is what they would cost, and people have ordered these things. And so what I'm offering tonight for you before we go is $79 a month or $7.99 if you pay once at, sort of the one-time pay. This is only going on though for the next 48 hours. So you really do have to act quickly if you want to get in at this level. And I just want to let you know, just answer a few questions. I'm going to open up the chat so I can also talk to you and get some more questions from you. But if you want to know when the offer expires, as I said, 2 days at midnight, the price will go to $9.99. All right. So, and I know the value of this group. I've been in one myself. I lead coaching, and I know what it can do. So I encourage you to be that early bird and get in. Some of you may be wondering, well, aren't masterminds supposed to be just for a small group of people? Traditionally, a mastermind is a small group. But Dunbar's number says that a tight-knit community can hold up to 150. There is no way that I want to extend myself right now to 150 people. So even with that research, our group is only going to be 25 people. That should say 25, not 50. With the new technology that I showed you, as well as us being able to work online and me coaching you online and you having access to your peers, this is still going to be a very high touch experience. So this is not me being distant from you. It's me being in it with you, and also you having your peers and colleagues to work with. You may be asking, well, what happens if I miss a call? You may remember that my friend and colleague, Lene Michelle, is in Amsterdam, and there's others of you who are international and who are wondering, well, what if I miss a call? What if the timings don't quite work for me all the time? How can I make sure that I am a part? Well, all of our sessions are going to be recorded for you to review, and replays will be sent out to you the morning after our meeting. So that's that mastermind meeting in the morning, as well as the mid-month meeting. All of that will be sent to you. But I will say this, that you won't get the full experience if you miss meetings. Not only will you not be showing up for yourself, but you also won't be showing up for others who may need your support. So I want to take a moment now, and I'm going to move over to the chat so that I can make sure I'm seeing what you ask or what you have, and I want to be able to answer your questions. So let me pull up that last slide, and I'll answer questions in the chat right now for those of you who are here. So let me know, what questions do you have? You'll see me in the chat here. I know my screen looks a little funny, so don't worry about that, but I need to be able to see the chat. Okay, I see some movement here. Truly, this is your opportunity. Feel free to ask away. questions that you may have. About the mastermind, questions you may have about goals that you're gonna get started. I'd love to hear from you. And just remind you as well that I'm committed to your success, and I look forward to moving forward with you for those of you who are ready to take yourself seriously for 2017. So let's do it. So Shayna asked, what would be the time commitment for the mastermind group? So for you, the commitments on your end really are that virtual mastermind meeting at the beginning of the month. That is a 60 to 90 minute session where we do goal setting, where we also do celebration of goals, and where we, goal setting for that month, celebration of goals, and where I do a short teaching, nothing this long, but a short teaching. And so that's 60 to 90 minutes. And that's the mandatory part. And then mid-month is optional, but I will say you don't want to miss the struggle to strategy sessions. That's 1 hour. So that's the time commitment for the mastermind group. The rest is you working on your goals. And any time that you want to spend in working on your goals, then that's what you spend. But in terms of the actual mastermind, it's the beginning of the month, that's 60 to 90 minutes for that virtual mastermind. And then mid-month is optional for everyone, but I truly recommend that you attend it. That's 1 hour. Okay, so that's about 2.5 hours throughout the month. What is the length of the start and mid-month calls? Okay, thanks, Cheryl. Yeah, that's what I was explaining just now. The start of the month is the 60 to 90 minutes, and then the mid-month is 60 minutes. And Andrea says, I may have missed this, but do you get an accountability partner throughout the year? That has certainly been a model that works really well. With accountability partners, I would pair people up by field. And here, I know a number of you are academics. I don't mean by discipline, but I really mean, I would pair you up by where you're going and what you're doing. So accountability partners, I have not sort of decided on that, but certainly it could be another add, a value add, if that's what the group wanted. Tavina, you mentioned that you should only focus on one goal at a time. I'm currently finishing my PhD and starting a company. Do you think I should postpone starting a company until after completing my degree? This is a really great question. I think that at some points you have to put irons in the fire so that when you're finished with your degree, you actually can, like have clientele already going. So I think you're quite fine to do that. I think one of the things that you probably want to go to is what I was suggesting around the planning and calendaring to really make sure how much time do you want to spend percentage-wise on one thing versus the other. Okay, so that you're kind of making sure you're finishing strong with your degree, but that you're also putting in the right kinds of activities for your business. So instead of doing, instead of doing like, oh, I'm going to build a website. Well, maybe instead of building a website first, it's what's my offer and actually going out to get some clients, right? So we're about maximizing your time and because you don't have much of it if you're doing both of these things. Let's see, the next question. For contact information, yes, thank you, Katie, for posting that. If you want to contact me directly, FatimaPhD@gmail. But if you are ready to get going within the next 2 days, to really make your choice before the cost goes up for the investment in the mastermind, you can go to masterminds.org/be bold. And Katie will put that up in the chat for you right now. That's masterminds.org/be bold. So Julie, that will help you, that if you're not able to sign up right at this moment, that you can go to that link and that $7.99 price will still be there for the next 2 days. Okay. Shaya, are times for the calls already set? That the days for the calls are set, but I'd love to hear if there's something that you're interested in terms of timing of calls, if there's something, behind that you want to know more about. But what we will be doing, I mean, for 2017, they will be set for the year, because I don't want everyone kind of wondering, when do I get on? When do I not get on? It'll be the same schedule throughout the year, so that, everyone can be accommodated. And given that we have some international people as well, it will be an evening hour, not during the day, because many of you are working, you have jobs, and during the day is pretty tough to do. Okay. We've got a couple more minutes for questions. I don't want to keep you too long. You'll know my style is, if it can be said short, then we'll say it, short. Sophia, I'm an academic in transition. Would you suggest this group, not necessarily interested in business? This is for professionals who are interested in going to their next level in their careers or in their business. So thank you for clarifying that. It's really for people who are going to the next level in their business or in their careers. So that can be professional goals or business goals, whatever those mean to you. So certainly, you being in transition, knowing the work that I've done with people, you want to be in a group, because it takes something to go through a transition. It's not easy. You'll have the course as well, Options for Success, but then the value add there is that you get the coaching along the way for when you have questions and you're going through the course. Okay. And just so you know, if you do have questions, when you email FatimaPhD@gmail, it will be Katie and I. Some of you may have missed my introduction earlier in the evening, that Katie is my assistant. She's amazing, from Kentucky, or in Kentucky now. She's not from Kentucky. But she and I will be in there throughout the next 2 days, really intensely, like getting back to you as quickly as possible with questions. I'm excited for all of you. I have seen actually 2 people sign up already. Tayo, yay! I am super excited. I can't wait to rock 2017. Tavina, it looks like you are also in. I am super excited to meet you. I can't wait to do our 30-minute one-on-one, so I can hear more from you and help you to get focused so we can get moving and get started. Awesome, everyone. I thank you so much for your time this evening. I've had a really great time, and I look forward to working with you more over this year as we grow together, and as you get those businesses out, get those new jobs out that you really want, and go to that next level that you really, really want. I'm excited, and I look forward to having you in the Be Bold Mastermind. Okay, guys, talk to you soon. Bye-bye.